I'm going to show you guys a quick way to draw your support and resistance levels on your TradingView chart. On this chart right here, I have the NASDAQ. And a lot of times when you're learning how to draw your levels, you're starting off with your candlestick chart, which is what most of us as traders we use for everyday trading. However, if you're just starting out and you don't fully understand, or you're not just that good at drawing your levels just yet, then a quick and easy way for you to get the practice of drawing your levels so that you can become a lot quicker and more proficient with it is to go up here. If you can see my cursor on my screen, it's a white arrow with a pink circle. So you go up here to the top of your TradingView screen and you switch from candle chart. You're going to switch it to line chart. For the sake of the demonstration, I'm going to use a 15-minute chart. I draw mine on the 5-minute chart, but that's just the way that I trade. So looking at the chart, we're going to draw our highest point on the chart, and that is going to be our resistance level. We're going to draw a level here at the lowest point of the chart, and that is going to be our support level. Then what I like to do, I like to draw levels at other points on my chart where price clearly stopped and reversed. And also, I like to go from left to right, but I also look for areas where price has touched on more than one occasion. And if you look to the left of the chart, here's an area 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, they don't have to be perfectly lined up with each other, but they can be close, and that's good enough. Right? So I'm going to draw another level here, there, and then I'll draw another level there. Now, if you can see now, these points, this one point here to the left didn't touch it, but it was close. And as I move to the right, this point to the right didn't touch the level also, but it was very close. And so on the candlestick chart, these levels a lot of times still are significant. They don't always have to touch, right? But if they are close, and if you can see, this was a support. Price broke through it, came back, and look where it tested it. Let's look for another area. I like this area here. It touched once, touched twice. This is a good area. Touch once, 2, 3 times. So let's say about there. Touch here, touch there. It also touched here, right? So it's 3 points, well, 2 points on the left and then toward the right. If you were trading, then you can say, okay, well, once you look back to your left side, you can say, okay, well, this level was touched twice and price reacted at this level 2 times. So we're going to draw a level there. And we're going to make this quick. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the most important, in my opinion, are the high and the low of that trading session. And also pre-market. I don't have pre-market hours on this chart. I use it. But for the sake of the demonstration, it's the same situation. You look at when I draw my levels, I draw the high and low of the pre-market and also the high and low of the previous trading day. Those are my most important and significant levels. Anything in between, I will draw some levels if I see something like I have here. If I see where a level where price touched, where that level became support and resistance and vice versa for price. Still not as significant to me as my highs and lows of the pre-market and previous day, but they still matter sometimes, right? And you will see a lot of times where price comes to those levels that are in between, and they still react. Like this one here. This was a level. It was a resistance. One point in time, it was broken, became a resistance. Became a support. All right. Then later on, in the next day or two, or day and a half, it was revisited and tested. Even though it was broken here, look what price did. It came back to it. It came back to it, and price interacted with this particular level, and then it reversed. Here's another low. I would draw a level there. I would draw a level here. And then I would draw a level. I like this. All right, we're gonna make it quick. Let's say you draw a level here. Now, after you have drawn your levels on your line chart, then you want to switch your chart back to candlestick chart. Once you're back on your candlestick chart, now you can go back and adjust your levels. They're not going to be perfect a lot of times coming off of drawing those on your line chart. However, so once you switch back to your candlestick chart, then you can just adjust your levels. But look, a lot of times it lines up pretty good. All right, so this was the bottom on the line chart, as you can see right here. And this is the bottom of our candlestick chart. Look at the top, that's the top. Look at the second line down, all right? Rejected. Look to the right of that on the second line, it became what? Support. Look at the third line down. To the left, what was that? Boom, that was support. Okay, go down again, look to the left. At one point in time, it was resistance. Look to the left a little more, it was resistance that time. So 3 times, 4 times total. 6th line down, it was support. If you look to the right, that same line became a resistance here on the 15-minute. So even though you're looking at the candle on a 15-minute, it doesn't look that significant of a candle. But if you're trading on a small time frame, I enter in my trades on a 30-second time frame. Some people use a minute or a 2-minute. That is still a significant move down here to pretty much down here to the next price level, which wind up being a support level too. This line here, price also reached this line, and this line became support. If you look to the right, price stalled at the same particular line and then dropped. So that's just another quick way for beginners to learn how to draw your support and resistance lines.